Hey guys, so most of you, as far as I know, a lot of you that I've talked to have already read the Lightning Thief, and actually most of you have read more than one book from that series. But I haven't actually talked to many of you that have gotten onto this part of the series, the Lost Heroes. And so I actually just read all three of these in a reading marathon because they're so quick and so fun to read. And super well written too, like very impressive books. And I love how these were laid out. So The Lost Hero, which is this one, this actually starts, a few months after the end of the last Lightning Thief series book. And The Last Olympian, I think it was. I've actually forgotten the name of that at the moment. But Rick Riordan is, it's amazing how he sets this up. So what happens is there's this whole thing going on, and for some reason Hera has this plan that involves taking Percy, kidnapping him, kind of, and this other kid who is the hero of the Lost Hero, and we don't know him. He's brand new in this book, but he's kind of we're at least led to believe has been taken much like Percy has, and he's lost his memory completely, in the same way that we're pretty sure Percy has as well. And so this book is all about kind of getting to know these new characters, these new heroes, and watching them as they form their relationships and their bonds and learning to work together. And I thought this was actually my favorite one of the three, because these new characters are awesome. I mean, they're funny, they're interesting, and they are powerful. And very important to the overall story. And you can see in this some metal dragon. The metal dragon has the typical Rick Riordan kind of characteristics. Like, he is really quirky and funny, and definitely recommend this series. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you about the rest of them, so maybe you can make it up for your own mind. So the second book in the series was The Son of Neptune, and so this one actually, Percy wasn't even in the first one, except people talking about where is he. And so this one is all about Percy, because he is the son of Neptune, so it's easy to see why it's called that. And so Percy shows up, and we figure out where he's been, and still no memory. And so that particular book focuses on him being introduced to a whole new group of people. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you. So basically, it's the Roman god version of Camp Half-Blood. And so Camp Half-Blood is all the Greek demigods. And so in this Roman camp, it's all the Roman demigods, which is a really super cool twist on the story. And so it turns out that the same gods that have been in all the books are still in this, but they're called by their Roman names, and they have different appearances and different characteristics, which I wasn't super aware of. So I actually learned a lot from this book about those. So that follows Percy's adventures and kind of how he gets to know this new group of Roman demigods and how they learn to trust each other. Because I guess there's some pretty bad blood and bad history between the Greek and Roman demigods. And so learning to work well together. And this one, the Mark of Athena, is the epic conclusion in Rick Riordan fashion, where the two groups come together. So you have the new hero from the Lost Hero, which is Roman, and his name is Jason. And so Jason shows up with all the Greek demigods on this huge floating warship that one of the demigods built. And so Percy joins up with them, with his new buddies, his new Roman demigod buddies, but there's still a lot of trust issues. Some bad things happen, and trust is hard to regain. So there's a lot of friction in this story, between the Greek and the Roman demigods, and so the only ones that seem to be able to bring any sort of order to it at all are Percy and Jason, who are the two fighting on the cover of this one. That gives you any indication of what this one is about. So I never like to give too much away, but the Mark of Athena follows the group as they've come together as they travel to the homeland of Rome and Greece. And they have to stop. Get this. The bad guy in this one, Mother Earth. Stop Mother Earth. Find out. Read them.